Please, can you switch on your video? So we are going live even on YouTube. So just, yeah. Right. Hello everyone, and welcome to Moja for Industry presents National Safety Week special digital dialogue on how to make manufacturing facilities safe. Knowledge partner for this session is 𝒓𝒆𝒊𝒈𝒂𝒍 India, a leading provider of machine safety solutions and services. As we observe National Safety Week, like every year, it's the perfect time to highlight the critical importance of workplace safety, especially in the manufacturing sector. Every year, countless incidents remind us that safety is not just a compliance requirement, it's a culture that needs to be embedded in every aspect of our operations. I think Mr. Muthusekhar will definitely agree with us, because since the inception, we have taken this particular week as a very to create awareness within the manufacturing ecosystem. So through this exclusive digital dialogue today, we bring together industry experts, thought leaders, and safety professionals to discuss the biggest safety challenges in manufacturing, innovative solutions and best practices, the role of technology in enhancing workplace safety, and of course, strategies to build a safety culture. That's a kind of safety first culture within the manufacturing ecosystem. We encourage you to actively participate in the discussions, delegates, ask questions, and of course, engage with our speakers through the Q&A session as we go along. So without further ado, let's begin by introducing our first speaker, Mr. Muthusekhar, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Hailstone Innovations and Additional Director at 𝒊𝒐𝒑𝒚𝒓𝒊𝒈𝒉𝒕 Equipment India Limited. He is today joining us from the city of Bhubaneswar, and today he will discuss the importance of workplace safety in manufacturing facility. Over to Muthusekhar, sir.
So first, thanks to Shubhajit and Mojo for Industry inviting me as a consecutive 4 years to speak on safety, and also kudos to you and your team for conducting it without a break and making it as a signature show for Mojo for Industry. Also happy to be part of the eminent panelists. In fact, I have been advocating for safety being a curriculum in the schools and colleges. So it has to be embedded in our education system so that at least the future generation are well prepared and on the safety, and they are more productive. So in case of, if you look at the, our population, 140 billion people, the working class who are between 21 to 58 or 60 years old, the population is approximately somewhere around, 45% of the population is the working class between 21 age to 58. And imagine if everybody are, value addition of 100 rupees a day. I'm putting a minimum amount 100 rupees. It could be called as €1 or $1 a day by every individual. The Indian economy will, soon become the third largest economy in the world, and the Viksit Bharat vision will be definitely achieved. When we go there, people are talking about 80 hours of working, some talking of 70 hours of working, some talking of smart work, some talking of hard work. But I say that if safety is part and parcel of the work culture in the industry, in the in every activity, 10% GDP will straight away increase. The existing GDP will be boosted by 10%. That is what the calculation says. The industry accidents are, only 30% are being reported. And in that 30%, which constitute about 2% loss to the GDP. In terms of the national loss, other than the human loss, the national loss is about 2%. Only 30% is being reported. Imagine if the entire volume is going to be reported, then it is going to be somewhere around 6 to 7%. And already a record which is available in terms of the road accidents, what we have, that is about 7% loss to the GDP. So if we combine this 7 and 6%, definitely a 10% growth on the GDP will be possible if we are making a safe working culture, safe environment in the industries, and the safety practices are being practiced. So this is the way I wanted to kickstart the discussions, and probably we can add values in the further round of discussions. Thank you.
That's a very well opening thought, sir. And 10% contribution to the GDP, if we consider safety as a primary aspect to consider in manufacturing ecosystem, within the road infrastructure, everywhere, wherever the best safety practices can be adhered to.
If you want me the number quantify, I can tell this is approximately 40 lakh crore will be addition if the safety practices are 40 lakh crore year on year will be added to the GDP and to the nation growth.
And all with that, even though the most important aspect is the human life, the value of human life, of course, that also is going to contribute to contribute in a huge way to the.
There is no value for a human. You can't even quantify what's the number. A loss is a loss, whether it could be for the family. And also the study says that the age group between 21 to 30 are the highest number of industrial accidents happen. And imagine their career of another 40 years to work. If they are going to lose it between the 21 to 30 age group, which is having the maximum number of industrial accidents in a manufacturing place or in a company. So it's going to be a huge loss for their family and, as an individual.
So these figures, what Mr. Muthusekar is mentioning, or highlighting rather, these are all cause of concerns, and we need to be a little more proactive in bringing or rather creating a safety first culture wherever, whether we live in a place or whether it's our working place. So thank you so much, sir, for putting all those numbers and the figures. We'll come back to you again. So viewers, if you have any question for Mr. Muthusekar, please submit it in the Q&A box, and definitely we'll come back to you after the individual presentations are over. So now I will invite Mr. Chris Brogley, who is the Global Vice President of Safety Business Development at Ross Controls. He will take us through the machine safety development process. That's a key element in ensuring accident-free operations. Over to Chris. Chris, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, it's perfect now. Your screen is also visible. You can put it in presentation mode.
Okay, you can see my screen fine?
Yes, you can put it in presentation mode. Yeah.
Okay, thank you everyone for inviting me to speak. I'm from the US, but I have a global responsibility, and I travel around the globe helping companies implement safety programs. And this ties right into this making manufacturing safe that you guys are trying to do here. And over the 30 years in safety, I've seen some very specific things that cause safety programs to fail. And one of those is lack of direction due to lack of specifications. And I kind of equal this into starting a journey without a roadmap. You're going to end up where you started because you have no direction and you're just going to go in circles. The other thing is lack of understanding of the safety development process. A lot of people jump right in and start trying to implement safety solutions without understanding what the solutions are that are out there. They're not doing proper audits, so they end up missing the box when they really try to implement a safety solution, and they often implement solutions that impact productivity. If safety is done correctly, it is complementary to production. And also, people struggle and put in partial energy solutions or partial safety solutions. They might do really good at putting in a light curtain, but they might not put in the safety control devices like electrical safety, hydraulic safety, pneumatic safety, and other sources of energy safety. They may only do part of the solution. And another thing, people don't document the steps that they're taking. And in a court of law, it basically says if you didn't document it, you didn't do it. So I'm going to take you through a process that we use to help companies develop and define their safety programs. First, we spend time with the company understanding what are your intentions, how do you want to move forward, and how long do we have to get this program done. The next one, people sometimes start implementing safety programs without understanding where they're at today. So you have to set a baseline. So we do that by doing audits to determine high, medium, and low risk machines in order to focus efforts. Sometimes people focus efforts on the wrong machines. So we want to drive the assessment process through audits. Once we have those assessments done, that drives machinery improvement plans and equipment modifications. Once we have done those modifications, we then need to validate and make sure that it met the requirements of the risk assessment. And then one of the things that's often overlooked after we modify a machine, people forget to train the operators. So this 7-step process we've been using for years has been very effective. And step 1 of that is helping companies define their safety requirements. And as you know, the BIS standards are coming into effect in August. And I've been here in India this week and talking to 6 or 8 different companies. Half of them weren't even aware of the changes that are coming and what needs to be done. So understanding the requirements and developing a safety program is crucial, because if you start the program wrong, you're going to end up with a lot of wasted time, money, and effort. So you want to spend time developing a strong specification that identifies what you're going to do for your lockout program, what you're going to do for machine control programs, how you're going to train your employees, and then how you're going to inspect your equipment to make sure that it stays in good shape. So specifications create a foundation for safety system development. Without a spec, you're going to end up with a mess. And so a lot of people are using some sort of safety development process. Some people call it a safety life cycle, where you start off with audits and assessments to understand what your current situation is. Next, you get into specifications that determine how risk is going to be reduced. You then select and implement your mitigation devices or solutions, and then you have to make sure that your design is correct, and then you validate it before you're finished. And so having a systematic process drives holistic improvement. And so these conformity audits, the way we do them, basically define the machines into 4 categories. Priority 1, high risk machines. Priority 2, medium risk. Priority 3 is low risk. And the last one is compliant. And so if you can see here, in this example, there's a lot of red in this that a company needs to do. And these are some examples from a couple of customer audits. You can see the plant on the left, they only had 1 high-risk machine, but the one on the right had about 20 high-risk machines. And so understanding where your baseline is important, because you can use this as a dashboard as you make improvements. So you should start seeing those red boxes start to turn green as you make your improvements. And the next step then is developing a holistic risk assessment. Your risk assessment should not only look at electrical safety, it should also look at fluid power safety. It should look at your lockout or energy isolation safety. And it also should look at procedural-based safety. So what are you doing with your procedures to make sure people are safe? And this drives the assessment process. The assessment process then would look at all job tasks that people are doing, all the associated hazards for each mode of operation for the machine, and it determines the risk reduction measures that must be implemented. And it also gives you the performance requirements. In this case, Cat 3 and PLD would be required because of several of the high risk factors we saw. And so those risk assessments drive what we call functional specifications, which determine how that machine is going to be improved, whether that's electrical safety products, pneumatic, hydraulic, steam, or other technologies that are used to reduce risk. Once we have done that, we need to understand how we're going to implement these programs. And one of those is lockout. All lockout procedures should, or all lockout programs should include procedures that identify how to isolate a machine, how to verify that it's isolated, but then also how to return the machine back to operation safely. There's other things called alternative isolation. This is where sometimes people need partial energy. So these are two examples of procedural-based safety that can help keep people safe. And then we get into what I call machine safety. And machine safety uses safety input, safety logic devices, and safety output devices in order to drive safety solutions. And our risk assessment showed performance level D and Cat 3 in the example above. Well, we've got to pick devices that meet those requirements. And unfortunately, a lot of people are using standard products for safety applications, and then they have failures of the devices because they haven't used reliable products. They also implement sometimes the wrong structure, so they're not getting to the safety performance they need. So that's why it's critical to have a specification of what components and what structure you're going to implement within your organization. And the big difference is it's not just that they're red and yellow products, it's that they have additional technologies. So some of these have self-monitoring, mechanical devices have direct driven contacts, and they also have multiple signal paths. So it's more than just color. They're technologically better and are designed to fail to a safe state. And so implementation of these is crucially important. So we should be looking at safety input, safety logic, and safety output. If we do not choose safety output devices, we are doing incomplete safety solutions. And this is what is happening a lot in this industry, is partial safety integration. And once we have started to implement these, we also need to understand the different types of safety circuits and how those need to be implemented. And then we need to calculate our performance level that's achieved, and that is based on looking at categories, reliability of the components, and something called diagnostic coverage. And what we do when we do that is we collect the information and we do the calculation, and we actually have a way to verify that we meet or exceed the performance level that was identified in the risk assessment. So this is what I call a step-by-step safety development process. And the last step in that process then is validating it, because if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. And so you have to put yourself in a defendable position. So this is a way companies can protect themselves, is by doing proper validation and documentation of their safety solutions. Once those solutions are implemented, they then need to train their operators on how to use these new machines. And then, so in conclusion here, having a safety plan defines the process. Having standards that define the requirements are needed because it puts a roadmap together for the implementation process. And by selecting and implementing products in the correct way and validating and verifying what you've done. So you don't start a journey without a map. Why should you start your safety program any differently? And that's what I have.
Right. So thank you so much, Mr. Chris, for taking us through the machine safety development process. That's as you explained, it's a key element in ensuring accident-free operations, and taking us also through the bits and pieces of how safety should be treated within any manufacturing environment. Thank you so much, Chris, for that.
You are welcome.
If you have any questions for Mr. Chris, please submit it in the Q&A box in your Zoom control panel. Today we all talk about Industry 4.0, even people are talking about Industry 5.0 as well. But seldom we talk about the Safety 4.0. you know. But there are companies like 𝒓𝒐𝒏, they take proactive measures to provide solutions for the industry ready solutions, industry 4 ready solutions that takes care of the safety aspect. So now I'll be joined by Mr. Kunal Sharma, who is the General Manager for North, Central, and East India at 𝒓𝒐𝒏 India. He will discuss manufacturing safety 4.0 and how technology plays a transformative role in improving workplace safety. Welcome, Mr. Kunal.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. Thanks for inviting us and that for organizing this good event by the Mojo. So thank you everyone, and thanks every guest that is joining and every panels who is there. I'm just presenting. Just let me know once you are able to see the screen.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Kunal. Can you just tilt the screen towards you a little bit?
Okay.
Just adjust the
Now it's better.
That's absolutely fine. And your screen is visible now.
Yeah. So I put it in a presentation mode.
Yes, please.
So this presentation is showcase about how the technology are nowadays improving the safety, as well as you can say we can having many different aspect in improving uh, the workmanships or including the technology which is there. So just to have a short introduction, what Commercial it is having. Commercial is a German MNC, and it is more than 75 year of company, having more than 45,000 of customers. So we are having a system and solutions, and more than 18,000 products that we are having in our basket, which will cater the entire application of the safety. And then we are also working on industry 4.0, and then we having more than 2000 employees worldwide, and we having 8 manufacturing facilities throughout the globe. And the main thing is that our main goal is that together with our partner, together with our customer, we are turning a workplace into a safer places. So just this is the milestone of the company. It is started in 1945. This year we are celebrating our 80 year of completion. So there are many milestone which is there, like we having a plant, first acquisition and then foundation of Brazil plant. Then there are nowadays it is a third generation of the family, and it is a family owned company. So in India also we are having a plant which is located at Pune. So this is a global site which we are having. 4 plant it in Germany, one in Brazil, one in China, one in Pune, and the latest plant that is in US. So you have seen. So this is our plant in Pune. So which having complied with many of the products that we are manufacturing here in India as well. So the main motto of this commercial is that we are the solution provider for system and solution, with which we are giving the entire turnkey solution to the customer, with which they can implement the installation of the systems as well as the control, uh, safety controllers, safety field boxes, and the IO links. And along with that, we are having with the Technicum, who is our neutralized company, who will work as a neutral body to give a solution to the industry. So in Technicum, we assuring that our client will receive a high quality of engineering services from us, and we are having a global engineering networks with which under which the TUV certified engineer who is giving a solution to the customer every time, and with a neutral approach, so that the safety can be binding up. So under Technicum, we having a 6 pillars, you can say. One is with the academies. In academies, we are having a training courses and customer specific training courses, in-house seminars, and we are also conducting a certification courses for MC expert or maybe functional safety experts. Then the consultancy division, where we are conducting the risk assessment. We are having a capability for the CE conformities, as well as we are evaluating the machines and production for the reports as well. Then the engineering. In engineering, we are conducting giving the concept of the safety in terms of electrical, mechanical, and we are able to execute the entire project. Integration also, we are taking a turnkey approach for installation as well as the retrofitting. The new thing is adding in this particular thing is the digitalization. So along with our embedded system, we are developing some software which will be helping the industry in giving the AI solutions, uh, 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 digital lotto solution, EMS solution to the industry. And last but not the least, it's that we are also working in the outsourcing, where we can give a plug and play solution to the industry so that it can be streamlined their production units. Then coming into the 4.0, in 4.0 you can say there is an era of industry 4.0 where you can find the field devices are there and control where it will be give the transmit, and then the process management is there. So here in with commercial we are having this product range, but now the approach with the solution we are changing it with the industry 4.0, so that we can give the entire cloud or maybe remote access to the customer, so that they will let them know what are the machine is doing at their workplaces, which is coming out to this. So coming into, Mr. Chris has given some of the brief of the risk assessment. Now it is like in Technicum services, we are conducting a risk assessment. Just lead with a one example that this is one motor where there is a probability of occurrence is 8, frequency of exposure and the severity. So we have to calculate this HRN number. It is a hazard rated number. So it is a multiplication of all three factor as well as the number of person who is involving. So if you see, there are many of the area where the accident can be happen. So in our technical services, we are conducting this risk assessment, and based on the risk assessment, we are concluded with our planning and engineering and along with the installation things. So here you can see we are enclosing all the hindrance where which is affected, and it will be controlled by input logic as well as output. So here you can see, even if this probability of occurrence is lower down, even if the frequency is on a higher side to interact with the machine, then also the HRR number will be reduced. So this is what we are covering under a roof of Technicum. Then we are also having the industry 4.0 solution, where we are monitoring three things: conditional monitoring of your lines, maintenance, as well as the predictive maintenance. So here you can see this is the complete layout of your machine, which can be showed on the remote cockpit of your monitor or maybe a remote access. There you can know how many interlocks are there, how many doors are there, and what is the correct position or is there in the real time. So once if you find any hurdle, then it will be show it on your cockpit itself, so that you can know which particular station is having a fault. Then we come into the maintenance mode. In the maintenance, you can see if there is certain mishappen or maybe short circuit happen, you came to know which particular machine having which particular sensor is having a faulty thing, so that the maintenance person will go there and cut down the maintenance work, and it will reduce the downtime of the machines. So this is what we are doing in for the maintenance mode. Then the predictive maintenance means that it will give you the lifeline of the product which is using on the field, based on the data, based on the analytics, because every product having some lifetime, so that it will give you the real time how many weeks are left, how many days are left, so that the maintenance person can be prepared in advance to do the downtime in on the time. So this is one thing, and then the digitalization comes into the picture. In the digitalization, we are having develop one software. With this software, we are making this digital lotto in the monitoring as well as documentation. So the lockout takeout is that, like we develop a software where the requester or supervisor can request for the lotto. Based on that, the approval will approve those requests based on the live photograph which is there. Then the custom admin is that they are responsible for managing the user. They will define who are the approver, who are the requesters. So based on that metrics, they will develop the competency within the company who will do what. And then there is a central admin who will generate the report for this particular digital lotto. So how this digital lotto works, It is like the requester will start a lotto by scanning a QR code which is mounted on the machine, and they has to upload the live photograph of detaching or disconnection of the energy sources of the machine. Afterwards, the approver will get the all information requested from the requester. Then based on the photo evident, the requester will provide the capability of whether it is approved or reject. If it is approved, then they should give the comment, or even they will also comment on that particular software, so that the people who is working on the Lotto system can do the things. Then once the activity has been started, then it will uh, uh, then after the completion, the reverse lotto is also being initiated. Based on that reverse lotto, the requester need to provide the all the photographs which is in the live manner for the removal of the locks and restoring the energy source, so that all the document, all the activity which is conducted for these particular machines is being documented, and it will be monitored in a past, as well as it will be documented in the safe manner, and these all are being time stamped with all the activity which is performed on the field. So this is the software that is developed. So the advantage of the Lotto system is that with the communication and the collaboration within the team is been increased. It will also give you the real time of the situation of Lotto which is conducting on the field, and it will be enhancing the collaboration along with the worker as well as the supervisor. Then the user interface, it is very usually to have an interface so that it will quickly access, it will give you the complete information about the reports, easy to navigate, and many system has been done. Then there is a streamline of the standardization can be happen with this particular software, so that it will be not based on the paper, it will all on the cloud, and it is reducing the paper based process which is what vastly used in the factories. Then you have a central data availability, so that you can extract the all the history of the Lotto which was conducted for the auditing purpose or for the refusal purpose. Then the compliance, it is also improving the compliance for the regulatory, as well as it will give you the entire data of what activity has been happened in the past. Then it is, of course, it is giving you the security and alerts, so that you will be prepared for this. Then Commercial is also working on the AI solutions. So on the AI solution, it is a camera-based AI solution. So we having three systems which we can give solution to the customer. So it is a modular ecosystem which is developed for a video analytics that integrate with the environment as well as the information that the industry is currently facing. So there are three systems. One is SACI, then KUKA, and AIRA. So in the Saki, there is two things. One, you have to measure the behavior of the employee against while they are working, and it will can be monitor it 24/7. Then for the KUKA, it is for the quality check, and the another is for the IRA, is it is for the artificial intelligence for the reduction of the accidents. So let's just have some glimpse of this Saki. Here you can see there are some certain pattern which is predefined by the company, so that the operator should do. If the operator is not doing as per the SOPs, as per this, and it will show it the behavior or identify the pattern of the human who will interacting with the machine. So with this analysis, we can also conduct that how to educate that particular worker to interact with the machines. And in the above picture, you can say in some of the countries in Europe, you can't able to show the face of any of the person. So in that way, we can show it in that particular structure. This is the same machine, but the person is not showing in that manner. So this is, with this we are able to identify the behavior, as well as we can identify the what are the patterns which the worker is doing with this. So with this we can increase the efficiency of the operators. Then there is a KUKA. It is a software or maybe a camera based system where we can identify or count, or maybe we can have the sorting of the material which is coming on the line. So this is a completely a computer based systems that is there. Then the last one is that artificial intelligence. Here you can see there are three videos we can I can just explain. Here the first person is having entire PP which is there, but his hand don't have any gloves while doing the work. So this can be monitored, and this can be rectified when the human interaction with the machines. In this picture you can see there is a hazardous zone where the welding sparter is there and welding things are there. So this is the area where the restriction of the human is not allowed. So based on the camera system, we can identify that this particular person is going into the hazardous zone, so that we can generate some alarm, or maybe we can rectify those things. And here also you can see some photograph where there is a predefined path. So if the person is walking on the predefined path, then it shows in the green. And if any person who is violating the things, that is not walking on the park, or maybe, so it can be detected. So this is the completely AI solution that the commercial is offering to the market. Then a part of this, we are also having developed one software for the energy consumption of the factories, where the commercial develop IoT based cloud solution, where your machines or maybe your plant having entire data of the consumption of the power. If any machines or maybe any of the particular machine generating more power, or maybe having a consumption more power, then the alerts and notification you can receive on your mobile or maybe on your system. So, and then based on that we can generate a reports, and the reports can show that on which area we have to reduce the power consumption, which machine we have to give a solution to increase the power factor in the machines. So this will also enhance the sustainability. And nowadays it is comply with the ISO 5001 50001, so that everyone should monitor their power consumption into the market. So this is a solution that we are giving to the customers. So this is just a architecture where you can extract a data of energy meter. Then from the Modbus you can deliver to the gateway, and it will be shown onto your system. And based on that analytics, or based on your thresholds, you will generate the alarms or notification to a person who is responsible for that. So with this you can able to calculate or analyze the consumption of your plant, or maybe of the machines. So we generally do like we measure the consumption, we analyze where it's going to be wrong, then we quantify how we can reduce, then how to reduce all those things, and then to verify. So this is the whole pathway or roadway we can use for the energy conservation. There are certain dashboards which are being used to evaluate where the machine is having, and this data can also be comply with your production data as well, so that you can analyze how much production is getting over while using the power of the machine. So these are the data, or these are the dashboard or maybe software interface that we are giving to the customer for this. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for your attention.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kunal, for discussing manufacturing safety 4.0, and explaining some of the technologies being offered by 𝒔𝒆𝒊, and of course, how technology plays a transformative role in improving workplace safety. Thank you so much for everything what presented right now. So, delegates, of course, if you have any questions for Mr. Kunal, please submit it in the Q&A box in your Zoom control panel. So, now, Mr. Kunal, you were talking about the uh, how to identify a kind of areas where the attention is required, to take action,
Yeah.
measurable action. to bring safety culture. So if I ask to start with Mr. Muthusekhar sir, so what are the common areas, hazardous areas in a manufacturing facility where the attention is required? Generally, we actually don't give that much of attention. Very, very common maybe areas.
See, the common areas like your scrap place, or you are keeping your waste, where the attention doesn't go, or you don't have a camera, or you don't have a monitoring system. Usually, the gray areas where the maximum usage is not being done. Probably you have dumped some goods, or it could be in a warehouse where once in a while there is a goods movement. So these are all the places the vigil is very less, and also the attention is also not there. So that is the way I say. And yeah, when it comes to injuries, we know very clearly that there are only two parts of the body which gets injury. One is your hand, that is what is maximum in the industry or in the manufacturing place, and the second is the legs. So if we can protect, like I saw what Kunal was showing in his artificial intelligence, or what Chris was showing in his industry 4.0, that you need to protect your hands and legs. And I think that's the area where the maximum, in fact the record even says that 36% of the injuries are for the hand, and 29% of the injuries happen to the leg. So this is more than 50%, these two parts of the body.
That's humongous figures what you are mentioning today, sir. Uh, Kunal,
Yeah,
you
I just totally agree with Mr. Muthu, sir, that the PP which is required, like helmets, gloves, goggles, steel toe boots. So there is one area where we are not regularly inspecting the replacement of the damages as well as worn out PPs, because with this we can reduce many of the accident which is happening day to day in the factories. Apart of this, many of the people don't know how to use the correct PPs, which
right.
location these PPs are being required, how it can be used. So these are the areas where we have to educate them. We have to give them the training on to how to use these PPs.
Even Kunal, in your presentation, you were showing an animation that
Yeah,
no, in an area where
yeah,
no a person is working
yeah.
and building work is going on. So how dangerous it can be?
It is very dangerous because if you don't wear any helmet into the industry, so if any of the fly screw can come and hit your head, it will again fatal is happen. And it is happen in the industry nowadays as well. Now the PPs are very much required, very much important to use. So with this AI systems, we are identify whether the people who is working on the field having a correct PPs onto their, whether they are wearing the PPs in the right manner as well. So
Right.
these are the new systems which is being developed for the industry, so that we can reduce a humongous uh, accidents which is hampered into the market.
Chris, today we are all talking about again Industry 4.0. Automation is taken the center stage of everything, and robots is there even in a small SMEs, MSMEs factories also today,
Yeah,
even in India. So, considering all these aspects, at the same time, we are seeing that even accidents happening that are related to the activities of robots, because we are not adhering to the practices where a robot is deployed. So how do you see this aspect, that what sort of dangerous precedence it can be when you don't adhere to the uh, standards or this thing after deploying a robot?
yeah. See,
That
while,
question, please, then
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
come back
sorry.
to you. Yeah.
You are asking to me or
That was for
Chris,
Chris. Chris,
okay?
after that, I'll come back to you
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
I'll take your
Yeah, I feel like, especially with robots, people don't fully take the time to understand the robot standards, and they don't assess all the actions of what the employees are doing and how they're interacting with the machine. And then you end up with an injury because it hasn't been properly assessed. And they haven't applied the proper standards to mitigate the risk. And I don't think anyone wants to get hurt. People want to do their job. Us as managers, engineers, and designers should be properly assessing the system, collaborating with those operators to determine the best thing that can be done to reduce risk and allow them to do their job, and then use these advanced tools, like this gentleman from 𝒓𝒔𝒊𝒂 was saying, to identify when they're not working within their uh, operating ranges and doing things that the way it was set up. So being able to assess it, mitigate it, design it, and implement solutions that are complementary will help both safety and productivity and can limit injuries. But if we don't follow the right systems, it's the exact opposite.
Right. Yeah, Kunal, I'm coming back to you. Last year in Automation Expo, you have showcased a technology that deploying a robot, and if you enter that particular perimeter, it will automatically stop working. Would you
Yeah,
like?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is defining on the zones, means that there is a primary safety, secondary safety. You have to define the zone. So for the primary safety, we are having many of the option which is available in the market, along with commercial, that safety scanner, safety mats are there. So these are the primary, or maybe light curtains are there. Then the safety fencing is also one of the there. But here we can also increase our general workplace safety, where we can give the regular trainings to the team, and we can display the clean signages of the hazardous emergency exits. We should also ensure the proper lighting and the ventilation on the work floors. So these are things which needs to be monitored, which needs to be taken care while implementing any of the machinery. And even nowadays this ergonomics are also very important, where we can you can see the proper lifting technology. Many of the things are there. So we have to follow all those things, all those hazards which is implemented with the machine or in and around of the machine.
Right. Mr. Shankar Chandra Vishwakarma, I think you are raising hand. You have some questions. My team is connecting with you. Just if you have any question, tell me. I can take you online also. Sure. And Chris, the system what we are discussing today is pretty advanced, but I think the basic attentions what we need is from the ground level. What Mr. Muthusekar, the stats and figure he's mentioning today, these are all really, really very sensitive, and I know this needs very serious attention. Muthusekar sir, you are no. Chief operating officer at Hailstone. So, what sort of strategies you bring in to create a safe manufacturing place?
Like Kunal was mentioning about the PPE kits. So we are very strict on the PPE kits, whether it is a helmet or whether it is a gloves or whether it is a safety shoes. And, we also have a safety committee inside the Hailstone Innovations Company, where the committee is empowered to, discuss with the employees, do the training programs, and find any lapses and then bring to the notice. Even if I am going inside the plant without a helmet, a safety committee man will point out. So, and we also have that hero kind of a culture inside the organization. What is a hero kind of a culture is, in the road when you are going, you find somebody is violating, or some car door is not closed. You horn, you come, and then you tell him that your door is open. That way you become a hero in the road. But we also want the hero inside the factory, that if somebody is not following the practice, like somebody is not wearing a helmet, or somebody is not following the safety rules, the other person who is beside him, could be a colleague, it could be a boss, or could be another division or a person. He will prompt that, yes, you are not following. So simple things, that's what we focus. The ensuring that whatever the simple safety steps, which has to be definitely adhered. So this way, Hailstone practices, and I told you the safety committee is empowered.
Different. Now, Chris, what's your no perspective on the safety practices in India? How do you see this today?
Well, I see India being a few years behind the US, and I see the US being a few years behind Europe. If you look at where a lot of the safety standards are coming from, they're coming from Europe. And as a matter of fact, many of the BIS standards are based on ISO and IEC standards coming out of Europe. And so, as these standards are being adopted around the world, you see progressive steps and improvements in safety. And a lot of it starts with knowledge. And what I see is a lot of the multinational companies here in India have been doing this for several years. Now the standards are coming along, requiring the local indigenous companies to also start implementing safety. So I see it as a progression. I've been coming to India for 25 years, and I saw it start at the multinationals because they had to follow practices in other regions. They brought it here. And then people from those companies went to other companies and started implementing it. So I've seen drastic improvement over the last 15 years, especially in safety. And I think with the adoption of the ISO standards, the sky's the limit over the next 5 to 10 years here in India.
Right. Uh, Kunal, you are an European company, but having significant presence in India as well, having one of your big manufacturing facility here. Last time, I think during manufacturing, safety week only, I had been to your facility and saw the kind of safety
Yeah.
actions and practices you practice every day, as your tagline says, the DNA of safety. But do you agree with what Chris is saying that India is way behind the European safety culture?
You can say yes, we are behind, but if you see the data of another 5 years, so we are improving in a very high speed.
Yes.
And here now people are understanding the criticality of the machinery safety. They will analyze how the risk assessment can mitigate their risk which is involved the human life. Now it is gradually increasing, and nowadays many of the companies, even with the medium scale company, they are also implementing the safety onto their machines, and they want a safety to be an integral part of the machinery. And here our main core area is that we every time, safety is not a one time job, it is a continuous process where we can do a continuous assessment of the machine, continuous assessment of the process, and continuous, you can say, the regular safety audits can be done. So yes, the things are changed from past, but it is improving a lot in India. And as you know that BIS, our Indian government, is also working very hard on to implementing and adopting the ISO standards. So now it is coming up in a very big way. So it is now our government is also very keen to implement the safety onto the machines, and even the partner who is working over there, that is also very keen to implementing. So
Well, you were talking about
yes.
ISO 50001. So,
Yeah.
are there any more standards available for safety?
Yeah, there is a stand. It is not related to a safety, but it is a monitoring of the power consumption, because power is one of the means that money things which is involved. Because having a consumption of more power will again give you the means that more money from the electricity bill. So
Right.
how to reduce all those things, and the government is also working on to that particular aspect, that every industry should comply with this 50,001 ISO standards for the energy
Any
monitoring.
standards or BIS standard for safety regulations that you would like to mention?
So there are many standards which is are, I think, 32 standard which is the government is trying to implement, in which you can say for the e-stop standard, from how to climb, so many of the, so how the interlock are there. So many standards are working here, and it is coming in up in a very big manner
Right.
Well,
with
I would say that there's four key standards that people need to know related to making their plants safe. One of those would be ISO 14118, which deals with lockout and energy isolation. The other
yeah,
one is ISO 13849, which deals with the design, implementation, and integration of safety control systems. The other one would be IEC 6204, which deals with electrical safety. And those right there together give a good basis for electrical, for machine safety, and also for the control of hazardous energy. And also the other one is ISO 12100, which deals with the whole risk assessment process, um, and, and, and and things like that as well. So those four standards to me are the key ones when I'm speaking about safety, is those four out of the 32 that was mentioned.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks. Yeah.
yeah, Chris, I totally agree with you. But there are certain more standards which the Indian government are now implementing, like for the risk assessment 12100,
Okay.
and for the 1411119, or maybe 13850 for the e-stops. So
Yes.
these are the standards which is required, because e-stop is a devices where it can be working in the emergency manner. It should comply with the positive break contacts and everything, which should be lined up into this. So
Point
these
taken.
are the standards which the BIS and took, so that it will be implemented in the first phase of the machinery.
Wow. Point taken, sir. Muthusekhar sir, at your at the beginning of your presentations, you spoke about the you are creating some awareness for students at different institutions. Can you let us know more about that? Because there may be few no
Yeah.
professors.
We interact with students. We allow them to, come to our works. Let them see the how our industry. It's more of a industry and academia collaboration. We have done with IIT Palakkad, Indian Institute of Technology. We have done with NIT. There is another college. Few colleges, keep coming. The students, especially the final year kind of students, where they see the best practices adapted inside the organization, what kind of production facilities and what kind of manufacturing activities which we are doing. So it's more of trying to give back to the society. And we also, as a CSR activity, have taken more than 10 tribal villages in and around our ecosystem, that's in Palakkad. So where we go to the schools, and even our employees, few of the senior most employees go and spend time with the school children. That's where pick them young and then train them. I think that's a kind of CSR activity which we are doing. Hailstone particularly.
Okay, I appreciate the initiative, sir. So if any educational institute wants to connect with you, so how to do that? And
Yeah. They can write to us, and then if they are interested for various activities are there. Like I have said in my previous interview with you, on a hailstone, how is going to be our journey, and then what's the kind of vision what we have, and we have added. We have doubled the workforce in the last 1 year,
right,
so
right.
it's like 100% increase of the employment strength, and then students can join as intern, or students can join as freshers inside the organization. So there is always plenty of opportunity. But only one thing is, they need to be coming to the most peaceful, God's own country, Kerala.
Wonderful. I think similarly, Simasal also takes some
Yes.
initiatives to educate, the surrounding people who are in the neighborhood of your facilities. So, Kunal, if you would look to touch
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that as well.
So for this, like CSR activities we are generally doing, and what extra that we are doing, we are giving some demo kits for the student for their labs, so that they will having the hands-on on the products, what is being used and how it going to be connected in a safe manner. So
Okay.
we are giving some of the, even like in IIT Delhi also, we are having our products where we are giving them for the hands-on activities. And we are also continuously been in touch with them to educate them and giving some short seminars onto the products, how to use, where to use, and uh, correct wiring of those products. So that from that particular level they will nurture enough so that they will give a good message to the market, or maybe to the industry which they are going to be joined in future.
Yeah, Chris, is Rose control, because I know today you are talking at a seminar on the same topic. So, do you regularly also propagate the ideas of creating safety awareness within the Indian manufacturing ecosystem?
Yes, I'm here at least 4 times per quarter, and then we have a local manufacturing plant here and local safety people that are involved with gentlemen and companies like 𝒊𝒂, and we do work with some of the universities as well. And along with us, 𝒊𝒂 also has safety certification classes, and so we offer this to people from industry. And a key thing is educating people on these standards and on these requirements and the technology and the processes and procedures. And that's the way you make a difference, is by educating and helping people and becoming their trusted advisor. And that's one thing that 𝒊𝒂 and Ross are both big in, is becoming that trusted advisor in the industry for safety. And so these educational programs are of premier importance to us, and I know it is to 𝒊𝒂 because we partner with them around the globe.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. That's true.
Great to hear that the companies individual in their capacities, like Hailstone, Rose Control, as well as Simersal, they are taking their initiatives to educate the people to make aware them about the safety best practices. So thank you, panelists, for taking up those questions. So before summing it up, can I ask one more question to all the panelists? Can you share at least 2 tips on the best practices to make manufacturing facilities safe? So I'll start with Muthu sir.
The best practices today, which is with the current trend, is the AI, artificial intelligence. It might look a buzzword or it might look something very new, but even today your phones, your gadgets are coming with artificial intelligence. So it can help identify the hazards, reduce the human error. It can analyze the history, the safety history. It also can do a predictive analytics. It can do a video monitoring. It can do a real-time monitoring. It can give emergency alert. There are even wearable devices, like if there is going to be a fatigue for an worker, that it can detect the fatigueness. So what I'm trying to tell is that the latest technology, artificial intelligence in terms of safety, I think it's not an expensive tool, or it's not going to be, time consuming. I think that should be focused. And in my opinion, it is going to be the future of the day.
Oh, it's way ahead of time. Appreciate your thoughts, sir. Yeah, Mr. Kunal, yeah.
So what Mr. Muthu said, that is also correct, and commercial is working in the same manner. But here we have to develop that. We have to encourage the employer to report the safety concerns without any fear. So that is being having taking a feedbacks from the accident report, taking a feedback from the employees, taking a feedback from the safety audits. So these things are very much required for each and every industry to cope up with the safety standards, and to give the safety environment to the people who is working, who is involving in their workshops. So this is what it is being required to each and every industry.
Yeah, Chris, your thoughts on the best practices. Yeah, Chris, are you there?
I think it could be because of the time. It's 1 hour more.
No, it will never. I think there's some this thing with his some network issues Chris might be facing.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you all for joining us today for the Mojo for Industry presents National Safety Week special digital dialogue on how to make manufacturing facilities safe. It has been an insightful session with valuable discussions on ensuring workplace safety, adopting best practices, and of course, fostering a culture of safety in manufacturing facilities. A special thanks to our esteemed panelists, Chris Brogley, Mr. Muthu sir, and Mr. Kunal Sharma for sharing their expertise and shedding light on crucial aspects of industrial safety. Your insights have provided us with practical takeaways to enhance safety measures and protect our workforce. And to our attendees, your engagement and participation have been truly encouraging. Safety is not just a regulation. Please remember, it's a responsibility that we all share. So let's take the knowledge gained today and apply it to make our workplaces safer, more efficient, and sustainable. Our sincere thanks to Knowledge Partner for this session, 𝒓𝒐𝒏 India, a leading provider of machine safety solutions and services. At Mojo for Industry, we remain committed to bringing you informative and impactful discussions on industry trends and challenges. Stay connected with us for more such dialogues, and let's continue working together towards a safer industrial ecosystem. Once again, thank you all and stay safe. Thank you so much, Muthusekhar sir. Thank you so much, Kunalji.
Thank you.
Having
Thank you,
been.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yeah.